Okay, so here we are, the first episode of the Lord of the Rings Online Let's Play. So, I've been debating how I want to do this. Most of the time, the character creation stuff, I find it kind of boring. But I do want to be as informative as possible with this Let's Play. So I'll go over the classes really briefly. First of all, I want to talk about the Bjornings. These guys are a class unto themselves. They're a race, but they're also a class unto themselves. They're sort of tanky, and they can turn into a bear, which I suppose is interesting. I've always wanted to try one of these guys out, but I've never really had the wherewithal to do it, mostly because they are a paid class. You have to buy the class from the store. But getting back to the non-paid classes, first of all, we have the Burglar. He's sort of a rogue type character. He's got the two knives there, as you can see. Don't know much about them, never really played one. Next up is the Captain. Only humans, or men, can be captains. Anyway, only humans can be captains. Only hobbits and humans can be burglars. Some of these classes are indeed race-locked. But next up, we have the Champion. Dual-wielding class. They have two weapons, and they're basically damage machines. That's all they really do well. Although they can do some off-tanking if necessary, but they don't really have the defensive stats to really do well at it. Next up is my favorite class, the Guardian. These are the high damage tanking class. And for those of you who don't know, a tank, well, it's pretty much just like the name would suggest. It's got a lot of defense, and it just stands there and takes a beating while the other classes do their thing. And their general idea is to keep the enemies focused on them. And this is my favorite class. I love my tanking characters, so this is my favorite class in LOTRO. Next up is the Hunter. These are your ranged damage guys, obviously. He's got that bow there. They also have a few crowd control abilities. They can deal with larger groups of enemies by setting traps out and stuff. And they also have an ability that can bring other players to a specific place where they set up. They can set up at a campfire and bring other people to that campfire, which makes them quite popular for getting around when you have very little money. Next up is the Lore Master. These guys are sort of the pet class of the game. They have a lot of pets that they can use to do damage to enemies, as well as doing a moderate amount of damage themselves. And they also do a lot of crowd control, so they can sort of mitigate enemy numbers if they need to. Next up is the Minstrel. These guys are the healing class of the game. And Minstrels also use music as a weapon, which is kind of interesting. They can play a little song at the enemy, and the enemy falls over dead, which is kind of funny. They also have some very powerful what are called cries, so they basically yell at the enemy, and it falls over dead. And those cries do quite a bit of damage. It's really kind of fun to watch. And they're actually a pretty fun class to play. Next up, let's just go to the elves over here, is the Rune Keeper. Now, Rune Keepers can only be played by elves, right here, and dwarves. That's it. And they're sort of an elemental mage class. They can do damage, and they also function as an off healer. So, they've got 3 different trait lines, and I'll be getting to trait lines when we get there with the character I'm going to be playing. They've got these, well, you can sort of see it right there, these rune stones, and they wield elemental damage, so like cold, fire, and lightning. It's a pretty fun class to play, actually. I do have a couple of Rune Keepers, and I like them quite a bit. Last but not least is the Warden. The Warden is kind of a ranged tank, but not really. They're a medium tank. They wear medium armor, and they've got these big long spears that they poke the bad guys with. And they're a little bit intimidating, at least at first. They have some very complicated mechanics, but once you wrap your head around the mechanics, they're actually really interesting to play, and they've got a lot of varied attacks that they can use, just by virtue of the mechanics that they have. And there's plenty of people who've played Wardens and put the videos up on YouTube, so you can take a look at that if you want, if you're interested at all in the mechanics of the Warden. Very different mechanics. But for the purposes of this Let's Play, we will be playing a Hobbit Guardian. Yes. So, let us continue on here. Let's see. Are we gonna... Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Could I go with... No. Meh. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Okay, so we just... That's around here with the options. Yeah. Eyebrows. Ooh, looks kind of angry. That looks good. Mouth, I think I'm gonna keep. Details are fine. Yeah, that looks okay. And where do we want to go? Can we go later? Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and body type. Yeah, that'll work. And normally I would just be hitting the randomize button on the name until I found something that I liked that wasn't taken. But I have something else in mind for this Let's Play. So, yep, we're gonna go with that. And there we go. There's our Hobbit Guardian. So let's get this show on the road. Okay, after that interesting little introduction from Gandalf, the first thing you're going to notice the first time you log into the game is you are not going to have this thing right here. This is an add-on, actually. It is a way to track the inventory of all your characters. So as you can see, I have quite a few characters, and this is all of what's in their inventories that's actually on them, and the stuff in their vault. So, and I'll include a link to this in the description of the video. Okay, so first things first, how you move around. It's pretty simple. W moves you forward. Yes, I know. Thank you. S will move you backward. A goes to the left. D goes to the right. Q strafes left, which is sort of moving to the side while still looking forward. And E goes back right. You can control the camera two ways. You can hold down the right mouse button, and that will also turn your character as you're moving the camera around. Or you can hold down the left mouse button, and you can just move the camera around without moving the character as well. So we're going to go up here. Yes, it's just telling us about quests. And looting. Yes, I know. Jeez. Okay, so, as you can see, Bounderboffin here has a giant flaming ring above his head. And that means that he has a quest for us. So, if we right-click on him. Okay, so he was just startled. Sorry. Yes, we startled him. Okay, sorry. Odd chill in the air, huh? Do I know how to fight? Well, yes, actually I do, but, well, yeah, obviously I would need a weapon. No, okay. Yes, I'll get to that in a second. You were all the way over here. Unless you flung the satchel away from you, you did not drop that. You flung it away from you. Don't even lie. Okay. So, in order to loot something, yes, I know, just right-click on it, and then it'll come up with whatever you've got in there that's lootable. So in this case, it's a hatchet and a shield, both of which are better than what we've got currently. So we're just going to loot all of that. And the way you open your inventory is with the I key. And as you can see, I have 6 bags here, but if you want to open an individual bag, just one of the bags, you just click on the icon, one of the icons down here. So I will... And again, the way you equip something is to right-click on it, or you can open up your character screen, which is right down here. This little sort of profile icon right down here. Or you can use the C key. And you would just drag the item you want to equip and drop it into place. Simple as that. Okay, and here we're also going to discuss combat. So we're going to right-click on the bounder. Okay, so you've got an auto attack, but you just right-click on something to target it and just start whacking away with your skills. Who indeed? It's Frodo, Sam, and sadly Pippin. My name is Underhill. Sure. Like we can't read the name above your head. Uh-oh. Something's coming. And off those two go. Uh-oh. Okay, so this is our first instance of a dread effect. When you get around something that's evil, like this great big black rider here, you will get a dread effect, and that lowers your health, which in this game is called morale. Don't crush me, Mr. Horse. Actually, he's just clipping through me. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So, yeah, the dread effect will lower your health. It'll also lower your attack power. And there are ways of getting rid of that effect. Okay, so we gotta go beat up these spiders, because Vanderboften's just too scared. There we go. And down here, right down here, is the experience bar, as you can see. Okay, so the two skills that I have at the moment are Stinging Blow, which is this first one, which is just a little quick stab. The other one is Guardian's Ward, and not only does it damage the enemy a bit, it also strengthens your defenses, which is pretty important for a Guardian. Okay, following you, Bounder. Okay, so he's going to take care of all these great big spider webs, and I will be taking care of any spiders. And 3. So we just right-click on the bender here. Okay. Oh! Got a couple of little hobbits here. Mundo Sackville Baggins, oh dear. And he's being chased by brigands. Terrible horsemen on the road, we only just escaped, so... Oops! Too late! Ooh. Down goes Vanderbuffen and Mundo. Yes, what do you want with Mundo? Oh, hitting a girl. That's mean. Alright, come on, let's go. Oh, rats. I only had 38 morale, too. I could have taken him. Okay, so we're in a prison and we got some black wolves here. And we are not getting out of here. Unimaginable power? Somehow I doubt that. Ooh!
Hobbits seem to turn up in the most unlikely places, Bounder Boffin.
Okay, so... Hey, it's Strider!
Come along, we are not safe just yet.
Okay, so Strider got us out... rescued us from the brigands, which was very nice of him. Okay, so if you right-click on a door and you see this portal on inside it, that means it's a portal you can go through and come out the other side. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Keep swinging on, dear. Oh! I think he got nailed. Oh, crap. That's not good.
Come, Hobbits, it is safe now.
Are we sure? Well, I can move again, so I'm gonna say yes. Okay. So what are we doing here, Strider?
This was a dire turn of events.
Okay, so Banderboffin's going back to the Shire. And we are going off with Strider to the town of Archet.
Wounded by a Black Rider, the Ranger Umdir escaped with his charges into the wild, making his way back to the village of Archet.
There, Captain Brackenbrook, a retired sellsword, has allowed Strider and his companions to stay and take respite from their cares.
Future. And here we are in Archet. The introduction, the intro area for the game. This is actually the intro area for men, humans and hobbits. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot of other players. Well, maybe not. Maybe not today, but there are probably going to be a few others running around here. And in the meantime, I am going to switch some things around here. And once I have done with that, I will be right back.